We'll make it all happen. I'll get it all uploaded ASAP. Hopefully before the end of the year, actually. Well, it'll probably go into January a little bit, actually. Mercedes would like to speak with you. Oh yeah, we still have like some A ranks to get on Byleth.
Oh yeah, we do.
Do you have a moment, Professor? I need to speak with you. Thank you so much. This is what I wanted to address. This letter from my adoptive father just arrived.
Adoptive father? How many of you are adopted? You, Marianne? There's probably some other third person?
Does Dorothy even have parents?
Oh,
no.
Have I not mentioned him? He's the reason I first came to the Officers' Academy.
Remember Dorothea's whole backstory is that she was an orphan on the streets.
That's right. She fell from heaven, it's fine.
He's also the one who dragged me from the church where I was living, just so he could use my crest.
I don't understand.
Aww.
My crest does not yet belong to a house, so he plans to use it as leverage to marry into the nobility. He's a very greedy man who was a roving merchant before adopting me, but now he's in the capital. This letter says that he's finally arranged to marry me off to a wealthy noble. I know he's just thinking of himself, but can't he see that this isn't a priority when we're at war?
My thoughts exactly.
I don't know what to do about this proposal.
Will you accept?
I can't see any way around it, so I fear that I must.
I mean, I can see a way around it. Have you considered murder?
Murder!
I just don't want to let go of the life that I've made for myself.
Mercedes, I can only speak from personal experience, but I'm just letting you know that my success rate at using murder to solve my problems is at a crisp 97%, so I would really recommend it.
I know it's not what my heart wants, but I don't have the strength to say no.
It's hard.
What does your heart want? Well, the heart wants what the heart wants. Haven't they already written a song about this?
Maybe. They probably have.
I believe I've mentioned this before, but I want to work in service of the church.
I don't think you know what Edelgard's mission statement is and what side of the war you're fighting in right now. Well, Edelgard does allow the church to remain. She just doesn't want Rhea to be in charge of it. I don't remember how deep they go into it in Three Houses, but in Three Hopes, she actually, Edelgard specifically, like, establishes the Southern Church to keep, like, the same faith, but says that the Central Church has, like, perverted it.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, there's
a
really...
Mercedes in charge of it.
There's a really fun little, like, side plot going on where she puts Bernadetta's dad in charge of it, and you get to see Bernadetta's dad is also a coward.
Man, I really, really need to play that game after this.
Three Hopes is so good. Would recommend.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I suppose it doesn't necessarily have to be the church, but I want to help those in need. If I were to marry a noble, I think it would be difficult to realize that dream.
Yeah.
Why can't you decline?
Yeah.
It's just, I've always allowed myself to follow the whims of those above me. I convinced myself that everything in life was at the will of the goddess. I was blind to reality.
Yeah, you get the wrong definition of destiny there, sister.
Mm-hmm.
I believed it was her will to both pull me from the church and guide me to the Officers' Academy. The decision to enter this war was the first time I acted of my own free will. My adoptive father opposed this decision, but I somehow managed to convince him. Still, I couldn't free myself of him completely. This letter is proof of that. It's not that I'm scared of him, but there is something that worries me.
Severing your ties?
I knew you'd understand, Professor. I've sat down to write a reply several times, but I can't muster up the courage or the words. I was hoping you could provide me with the encouragement I need.
You can't just give up on your dreams.
That's a very good point. We're only given one life, so we must do all we can to pursue our happiness. Okay. I think that may have been just the push I was looking for. I'll tell him the truth. That I found a life worth pursuing, and I must decline the proposal. Maybe I should tell him I've fallen for someone else.
Fallen for someone else?
Why, it's you, Professor. Isn't that obvious?
I wouldn't say obvious.
I'm just teasing. Now I'm off to write this letter and stand my ground. Thank you for your encouragement.
Maybe Mercedes has been hanging out with Sylvain too much.
Yeah. Girl, go pick
Also,
him.
oh my goodness, Mercedes, that was such a long conversation.
That was, like, very, very long. She's like, I got a lot to get off my chest. Oh.
Yo, my boy!
Oh,
I see. By any means necessary, then. Before the war's end. I'm covered, but just to be safe, I need you to check on my mother and Kupala. Still following me, huh? We have got to work on those manners, pal. Unless you really meant that bit about protecting me.
who was that?
A spy. I pay him money I don't have to monitor my stepmother, just in case something happens to me. Whether I'm above the dirt or below it, it's on me to protect my mom and her home, Kupala.
Would your stepmother really harm her?
No doubt about it. She's been honing her crazy plans lately. All because I've taken to fighting at your side. She thinks I'm making a name for myself before my glorious return to House Albrecht. Being delusional is her sport. There's little advantage to her going after my mom, but she's unpredictable. Gotta stay vigilant.
What's your mother like?
Guess I haven't talked about her. After her and my pop split, she returned home.
I hope she's also just, like, ridiculously jacked.
Where she's from, it's kind of an odd place. You know the folks who live in the mountains of the Alliance? Guessing that's a no. Few do. Imagine a place with no influence to speak of. Nestled in the mountains on the Almyran border. That's Kupala.
People live there?
Well, they're not mountain goats. And it's not like they never interact with the Lords of the Alliance. They're incredibly isolated, though. Even their trade relations are remarkably limited. Doubt that'll change. The land lacks resources worth fighting over. Probably for the best, honestly. Oh, but back to my mom. She was different. An exception to the rule in Kupala. She left the mountains, was rescued by my dad, and fell madly in love with him.
Sounds like destiny.
That goddess of yours is one cruel minx. So if that's the destiny she gave him, wouldn't surprise me a bit. My birth helped matters, but only a little. House Albrecht just wasn't where she belonged. My dad was in a tough spot. He was obligated to marry a fellow noble and produce a fitting heir. Nobody'd want to live out their days where they're utterly unwelcome. So my mom returned to Kupala.
I see.
Aw.
Then it happened. I was enrolled in the Officers' Academy at Garreg Mach, and everything changed. During my enrollment examination, they discovered that I bear the major crest of Chevalier.
So you're one of the only people in the game that has a major crest then, because I think almost everyone has a minor crest except Felix? And maybe Edelgard? I can't remember.
Cool.
My dad decided to resist his family's wishes and make me the head of the house after I graduated. Thing is, the truth of my special crest was kept a secret by decree of the church. He couldn't tell anyone about my prized bloodline, so I was forced to step down as the legitimate heir.
The church hid it?
It was for the best. My crest was inherited from mountain folk who prefer to keep to themselves. Imagine what would happen to Kupala if it got out. We both know it would destroy their way of life.
People will do anything for a rare crest.
Whoops, sorry.
Too true. I'm guessing the church thought my crest would cause trouble in Fódlan.
Why did you apologize?
Because I was starting to talk and you were talking. I'm like, oh, wait. I forgot that when it's one line, you say the words.
But don't get me wrong. No matter what life's thrown at me, I'm no victim. Like I've said, I prefer it this way. I've gotta be free. Even if things were different, I'd still choose this life. But I can't let my mother and her people pay the price for keeping peace in Fódlan. Wouldn't be right. All I can do is make a name for myself in battle and secure enough power to protect them. Failure isn't an option.
You got this, bro.
A rank?
Hey! Yay!
Whose birthday is it?
Whose birthday? Wait, I don't know. Whose birthday is it?
Hubert!
Hubert!
Hubert loves tea parties. But what tea does Hubert like?
Honey needles.
If you insist on inviting me here,
It's refreshing.
I don't mind. Thank you.
Be my guest, Robbie Damon.
Flavorful.
Indeed. Indubitably. Alright, here we go.
Likeable allies or monastery rules? Monastery rules?
Yes.
Nice.
Fódlan's future. I feel it's gotta be Fódlan's future!
What?
Good pick.
Okay.
Man, it could be any of them.
Monastery security?
What?
Nice.
While I am quite busy, this is not a waste of my time. I am grateful for the opportunity to observe you.
Command?
She's
or
floundering.
Psy? Oh, frig,
No,
Psy, I guess?
There we go.
It was Psy!
I too would pick Psy from Persona 5, personally.
Yeah.
I will say also, like, hearing Robbie Damon's voice, I'm like, you know what Persona 5 needed? Tea parties!
Yeah, tea parties, that would have made... Well, they do have tea parties every time Haru commits a murder.
Surely not.
You're right,
Thank
you're right.
This was more enjoyable than I thought.
Let's go, charm up.
Woot woot!
Doo-doo.
Hyper.
Woohoo!
Interesting.
Can't wait to get back out there.
Alright, yeah, she's just working on horse, you were just working on flying. This all seems fine. Bum, bum, bum.
Appreciate it.
Did we get any new supports? We did.
Woo!
Oh my
Ooh,
goodness.
Look at all those.
Holy cow. Well,
So many supports.
Fingers crossed for still finishing the game today. Pick a character.
Let's go with the Petra. Yes, Petra.
Petra and Bernadetta's
Oh, Bernadetta.
B rank, and the first A rank with Ash.
Woohoo! Bernadetta first.
Hunting? Really? There's no way I can do this. Goddess, why couldn't I have stayed in today?
Bernadetta, is this a trouble you are having? I heard that the duty to hunt is yours today.
The duties all got assigned while I was holed up in my room.
Do not be worrying. I can show you the way to hunt well.
Oh, okay then.
You should invite Shamir and Yuri and just make it the purple-haired hunting crew.
When you see a beast, you are thinking of it as an enemy. That is how prey thinks. You must think of the beasts as food. That is how the hunter thinks.
So it's not an enemy, it's food. But, how is it food when it's still alive?
You pick the vegetables from the field. Those have life too. It is the same. You take a blade in your hand and take the lives of the vegetables. You cut their stalks and harvest
Lives
without
of
mercy.
the vegetables.
I don't think the vegetables, like, struggle or fight back.
I
They
think
do not scream, but you are still their killer.
They do not scream, for they do not have mouths, but they still have terror.
Oh, cool.
Killer?
Fruit ripens and falls to the ground. The seeds sprout, and a new life is born.
Somebody
That
tell the
is life's
vegans.
cycle. It has cruelty, yes, but you must end life to eat.
You must be killing to be living.
Maybe, but I don't know if I want to be some kind of vegetable murderer.
It is the same for rabbits, deer, pheasants. The only difference being that they cannot cry out. You must do what you must do to be living in this world. It is your task.
A task. Yes, just a task. A completely mindless task.
Feel it. There, in the grass. Prey is moving, just like a vegetable in the wind.
A vegetable in the wind.
A
Give it an
vegetable
arrow,
in the
just like you would give a vegetable a blade. It is just your task.
Right. That makes sense. It's just like cutting a stem.
You are now a hunter. You have learned how to hunt.
Well,
I am? I have? Oh, good! What a relief.
You have understanding now. I can tell.
Great! Leave it to me. I'll hunt down my prey just like they're vegetables.
I have belief in you.
Aw, thanks, Petra. I can do this. Make way for Huntmaster Bernie!
Have luck, Bernie.
all right, Byleth.
Ow! What?
Byleth is gonna have to talk to Bernadetta and Petra about this.
No! Stay back! I'm sorry, Mr. Rabbit. I didn't mean it! Why are you the one chasing me? Ow!
I'm kind of. Oh, so she got Holy Grailed. Monty Python and the Holy Grail with this terrifying rabbit.
It's like that, remember that tweet I showed you where that woman was picking up a rabbit and then another rabbit showed up and just started, like, going off? She doesn't remember the tweet I sent her, chat. Pick a character.
Let's go with Ingrid.
Felix or Ash? Or Yuri, oh my goodness.
Let's go with Yuri. Curious to see what that's all about.
So, what is it, Yuri? You had me come all this way.
I need you for something. Have a seat. I won't take much of your time.
Okay.
My apologies for keeping you waiting. Here you are.
Oh, wow. Did you make this yourself?
I may not seem like much of a chef, but I know a thing or two about cooking. Looks tasty,
Can I, eat it now? I'm famished after all the training.
Have at. That's why I asked you here.
I see. Well, thank you. Don't mind if I do. This dish is divine. The first bite just melts in your mouth, and these vegetables are perfect. The flavors are interwoven together like a dance of swords between two myrmidons.
Calm yourself, Ingrid. I'm in no need of a critique. I just want you to enjoy it and take a load off.
Aw, thank you. I will. That was delicious, Yuri. I cannot thank you enough.
I'm glad. Then it was worth all the toil that went into preparing it.
You haven't eaten anything for yourself?
I figured I'd eat something a bit later. I didn't make the meal for me.
You cooked only for me?
Mm-hmm. The innkeeper provided me with some of his finest meat and told me to feed you. I figured if I was going to do it, I'd better do it right. So I popped into the kitchen and got working.
That won't do at all, Yuri. Meals are meant to be shared. It seems my stomach got the better of me this time, though. And I scarfed everything before remembering that.
Why bother yourself with such trivialities? The meal was a gift. Seeing you enjoy yourself like that is all the reward I need.
What way is that?
A bit like when you had all that meat stuffed into your cheeks at the marketplace. Like some kind of chipmunk. I like seeing the contentment on your face when you cut loose.
You do?
The innkeeper couldn't have said it better. She's got a real foodie face, that one.
I'm not quite sure how to feel.
Really, though. There are a few things I enjoy as much as seeing a woman indulging herself.
You should consider your words before using them. Such a flirtatious comment can only invite misunderstandings.
I didn't mean it that way.
do not remember their first support. I need to, like, watch all 3 of these in succession at some point. We got a ways to go. Pick someone.
Let's go with Sylvain.
Dorothea B rank, Ash B rank, or Lysithea B rank. Oh my goodness.
Lysithea.